With Classic Plus quite literally a couple months away, less than 8 weeks till BlizzCon, and then from BlizzCon, within 6 to 8 weeks, we are getting Classic Plus, Project Camelot, whatever you want to call it. And I covered a video on the second channel like earlier today, and I'm doing another video on it, on a completely different leak. And the whole problem here is almost every single leak is bullshit. Now, even this leak by Big Blizzard Bear, join date July 2026, post 2. Oh wow, I wonder what that could be. It's people who can guess certain things that make sense logistically, that make sense based on what we saw in Season of Discovery, and then throw in a whole bunch of bullshit to make it seem like their leak is legitimate. So, right off the rip, Ajara Crater getting reworked into an AB-like battleground. Of course that's going to be real. PvP system reworked. Absolutely going to be real. Normal plus heroic difficulties, that is 100% coming to Classic Plus, whether you like it or not. We are getting certain retail-like features. And you just have to come to terms with the future that retail features, retail light features, will be in Classic Plus. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't make any difference to Blizzard. They're gonna take features from retail, simplify them to work in Classic, and post them into Classic. And yeah, I know I sound like death mud. I've got lung congestion, but I really do want to get back into the flow of streaming, so I didn't want to skip another day. I'm perfectly fine. I just have a very raspy voice. I'm not ill in any particular way. I have a kind of a shitty cough, but I'm good. So let's just start from the very first point and read all the way down and cover every single point this man has made. 3 new leveling zones plus 1 max level PvP island off the coast of STV. Works like Blood Moon and Sod. We are 100% getting brand new zones, brand new leveling zones, brand new max level zones. That is not even like a what if, that is a guarantee. They've literally said they're cooking in the kitchen, the proverbial kitchen. They want to finish vanilla, they want to make content. We know Classic Plus is coming. This isn't like a, oh wow, a prediction. This is an obvious statement. The number 3 new leveling zones plus 1 max level PvP island. I'm going to be real right up front. On the launch experience, having no max level new zones makes sense. Having new zones be for leveling, to make the leveling experience smoother, faster, be more efficient, just be more exciting, it does make a lot of sense. So on this prediction from this guy, I actually do believe him, because I would predict this myself. They're not going to launch with a brand new zone and a brand new raid tier right off rip that's max level. They're going to tease that and hype it up at BlizzCon. They're going to give us level banded phases. They're going to give us some bullshit to keep the flow going while we work up to the max level content, as we work up to the first brand new zone, the Hyjal, the Twilight Highlands, the Quel'Thalas, the Zuldazar, the whatever vanilla content they want to add that may or may not get added, like Zuldar for example. All that content will come later on, not at launch. No new class but rework specs. Examples are Prot plus Ret Paladin, Arcane Mage reworked, Guardian Druid spec added, Shadow Priest works more like TBC, Demo Warlock is a tank now, Survival Hunter is melee. All classes have new spells taken from SOD or later versions of the game, a few entirely new ones. So for this one, I do believe that they are going to have like completely new specs added to the game and revamp and fixing a lot of other specs. Prot Pally, Ret Pally, Arcane Mage, Guardian Druid, Shadow Priest, you know. Demo Warlock being a tank, Survival Hunter being melee. Those were some of the most popular things from Season of Discovery. So because so many like things really did work in SOD, they're going to take them and use them. But saying that all classes will have spells taken from SOD or later versions is incorrect. I do believe there's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot of original new spells to Classic Plus. They're going to take a lot of spells from future versions of the game, but rename them, retool them, rekit them, to make it feel more organic and authentic to the Classic Plus experience, to the authentic livelihood and authentic style of vanilla World of Warcraft. New race plus class combos, Dwarf Shaman, Gnome Priest, Human Hunter, Undead Hunter, Tauren Pally, Troll Warlock. Of these, Some of these are 100% guaranteed. Like I said, these are easy predictions to make. We know for a fact that Dwarf Shaman, or no, I don't actually think, I should clarify. I take back about the Dwarf Shaman. There's not going to be Dwarf Shaman Undead Paladin or Tauren Paladin. In my belief, I think they're going to give people the ability to have, like my thing, they're going to revamp professions and give, you know, like drums or some kind of buff that you can craft via leatherworking or blacksmithing or whatever the fuck, or like enchanting or inscription that you can pop shaman buffs, or you can pop like for example kings and that stuff, or you can pop totem effects for 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever like that. So they're going to give you a way to do that without taking away from that class identity. Now, there's also a very solid chance that they do Dwarf Shaman and like Tauren Paladin, but I truly don't believe they're going to go down that route. I do think we're getting Gnome Priest, Human Hunter, Undead Hunter, Troll Warlock. Stuff like that will come to the game. But I do think they're going to give Horde and Alliance a unique, separate identity that truly works with the identity of the game, of the classes, of the the factions themselves. So, of the different specs added in Season of Discovery, like Mudsticker and people are talking in chat, there is a lot of truth to the idea that too many tanks takes away from the class identity. Too many good healers makes healing very popular. One of Sod's biggest issue was there was a shit ton of tanks and a shit ton of healers, because every single person playing, every single person enjoying the game was quite literally being able to play whatever they want, because leveling was so easy, gearing was so easy, so anybody could be a tank, anybody could be a healer. And while that made dungeons easy to do, it made raiding a lot harder, because there were so many tanks that tanks had no value. Pugging became a scene of where big DPS was more important than a tank. Healers were the most important commodity in the game, not tanks. Tanks went from being very desired and very wanted to people could pick and choose the tank they wanted. I had trouble getting groups as a warlock tank at times, because you would go into the group finder or try to find a group and there would just be a metric shit ton of tanks queued up for all the content. So like TBC, we try to run a heroic and you go in as a tank, you get 7 billion DMs and whispers going, please, me, good sir, me. In Season of Discovery, it was the opposite. Tanks lost their value. But that's a whole different topic. 2 new races, both are reskinned Blood Elves. One is a time-traveling elf race Chromie found lost in the Time Ways in Senhir. They make their base in a new section of Caverns of Time. The other is a new elf clan hidden in the hinterlands inspired by Illyria's Warcraft 2 look. They make Airy Peak their base after forming an alliance with the Wildhammer Dwarves. So, on this front, I don't want to dismiss this statement as being false, because they are effectively going to give Blood Elves to the Horde and High Elves to the Alliance. And they're not going to give Blood Elves because they don't want to bring Quel'Thos into the game that early. And the story of the Blood Elves changes drastically in Classic Plus. It is no longer the Classic Plus or the vanilla timeline we knew of TBC into Wrath, Illidan's dementia, and then them retconning all the TBC later on to say, well, yeah, Illidan was insane, and Illidan lost on purpose because of this bullshit, because he did this thing, and he made this spell, and, you know, he just was overconfident and all this bullshit. So I truly do believe that the 2 new races, both being reskinned Blood Elves, is 1,000,000,000% unironically kind of true. I do think ogres and other races will be added on later down the line, but 2 new races, High Elves and, you know, Chromie Elves, or whatever fuck they're going to be called. I don't know what the name for these guys would be, but I truly do believe that this is genuinely something that is going to happen. Whether it's going to be Chromie time elf race or a different elf race, I do believe the starting races is High Elves and Blood Elves reskinned for Horde and Alliance. And I would honestly kind of put money on that. And I wouldn't be surprised by it at all if that was the case. Moving on. 4 new dungeons, one is Karazhan Crypts from Sod. That is true. I don't think it's going to be just 4 new dungeons. I think there's going to be anywhere from 7 to 15 new dungeons, because they're going to have a lot more leveling dungeons. There's going to be level brackets. I know people didn't like level banding back in SOD, but I think level banding does add value. And maybe I'm one of the few people that has a strong component and a strong desire for level banding to be in game. So in my opinion, level banding is good, but for a lot of people it's not. So I think that only 4 new dungeons. If he's talking about max level dungeons, probably a correct number assumption. In terms of overall dungeons added to the game, I completely disagree. 2 new raids, Scarlet Enclave from SOD reworked into a leveling raid at 40. Timbermoor Hold 9 boss raid entrance is an Azshara. This one I truly do believe, because I don't think they want to launch with Hyjal or any new endgame zones like Grimbatol, Twilight Highlands, anything like that yet. Those are going to be multi-phase, multi-raid, multi-dungeon experiences in the endgame, multi-PvP, Azshara Crater, for example. So the first new zone being based in Azshara with Timbermoor Hold, with Azshara Crater, all of this is logical. Like I said, so far, a lot of the guesses in this post is actually accurate, but it's mostly guessing based on things that already are going to be coming, already make sense. Throwing in your own flavor and your own conversational tone points to make it seem more unique to you doesn't necessarily make it that you're very correct here on your leaks. You just guessed very accurately, to a degree, the type of content that will be coming. And Azshara being the first new max level high end like tier gameplay content is honestly on par, on point, and just genuinely checks out. I did say a while back that I believe Azshara will be one of the first places, because there's a lot of unfinished content there. There's the underwater dungeon, there's Timbermoor Hold, the Timbermoor storyline, the Furbolg corruption in depth, talking about the ancients, the Emerald Dream, connecting to, for example, in this context, Hyjal, and some pre-planning and like teasing towards that future. Now, max level raids of normal plus heroic difficulties, I talked about this earlier, but normal is 20 to 40 man, heroic is only 20 man. I do believe we are getting normal and heroic, and I believe normal is flex. You can bring 20 people, you can bring 40 people. Heroic being only 20 man, I 100% checks out. I 1,000,000,000% believe in this. They are 100% doing this. This is something I would bet money on. I also believe we're going to be getting heroic plus dungeons, but that is just my personal belief. I believe dungeons are going to have ever scaling, not necessarily loot wise with gear. I think there'll be heroic 1, then heroic plus, but then no matter what level into heroic plus you get, if you're like heroic plus 37, the gear doesn't get better. Heroic plus, or the equivalent of mythic 0, is the max gear you can get from a dungeon, and then mythic 37 is still just the same gear. You don't get better gear, maybe more drops, maybe some more consumable material, craftable materials, maybe some more gold, but you don't get more gear, better gear. PvP system reworked, arenas added, including a 1v1 ranked class locked. Raided battlegrounds are in 2. I believe this. Arenas being added, a 1v1 bracket. There are a dozen arenas, Gurubashi Arena, Orgrimmar Arena. Like, there's so many complete systems here, with the whole PvP system being reworked as well. I believe all of this is just genuinely real and true. And raided battlegrounds as well. I think RBGs are 100% going to be in the game. Again, I've talked about all this for a very long time. I don't necessarily know if all of this is going to be good. A full PvP system rework, arenas, 1v1 rank system, rated RBGs. All of this is great on paper, but being great on paper doesn't make it great in experience. So we have to see exactly how it turns out. 2 new battlegrounds, Azshara Crater reworked into an AB-like battleground. I believe in that. That does check out. I don't know if it's going to be in at launch, but if the first launch, the first endgame zone is Azshara with Timbermoor Hold, then Azshara Crater will be in the game from launch as the first max level, like full PvP experience. But if they're adding a PvP island or another Blood Moon style PvP endgame zone, then Azshara Crater won't be in the launch experience or the launch lineup. Professions reworked gives better rewards at lower skill levels to better match the speed at which you gain profession skill compared to your character level. I agree with this. Professions are due for a full overhaul. Even in retail, professions need a bigger overhaul. Professions are mostly worthless. So we truly do need the whole experience and the whole vibe to truly be better. I don't necessarily know that it's going to be fully better. I don't want to speak into things saying Blizzard's 100% going to cook with this and make this amazing, because they truly could fuck this up. Professions are very hard to balance in a fun, unique, interesting, good way. Saw did a relatively decent job of professions, but a lot of people didn't like them because it felt like certain professions just added too much value, took away from the style, took away from what made other professions useful. Like engineering went from being top tier necessity to not being that important. So in Season of Discovery, what they did to make every profession equal did make certain professions fall off quite a bit. But it is getting a full rework. That's not a maybe, that's not a what if. There's definitely going to be a complete and absolute rework of all professions. Like, I'll tell you that right fucking now. So we should accept that full rework is coming. A battle pass type system that lasts 6 months that rewards mounts, pets, and titles, free plus paid tracks. So with this one, based on everything I know, this is not real, but I wouldn't be surprised if a battle pass system got added to the game, and a battle pass type system that lasted 6 months with rewards, mounts, pets, titles was added. But with a $15 sub, they would never get away with this. So that right there, I think, is completely false. I don't want to say it's 100% false. I'm like 99% sure it's false. We are getting a very, very in-depth in-game cash shop with mounts, pets, things you can buy like that. But we aren't getting a battle pass system. I do believe there is a free battle pass system in-game. I do believe that'll be in-game. But the in-game shop will literally just be mounts and pets. But I do believe there likely will be some kind of free battle pass system, kind of similar to retail's. I forget what it's called, where you log in and you get your monthly tokens. Does anybody remember the name of that? I'm forgetting off the top of my head because I don't really play retail very much. You get those 500 tokens per month for your sub, then you get like a bunch when you buy the expansion. And then you can use that to get stuff from the cosmetic shop that they do, the monthly cosmetic shop. So based off that, I do believe that there will be something equivalent to make people log on and play and run dungeons and do things to simulate activity. And was I kidnapped? Crackers, no, I just had a lot of IRL stuff I was handling, but I'm finally back to streaming, so I'm glad to be back. But that's kind of why I haven't streamed made content in 3 months. And what would you like professions to turn into? Do you think they should increase they should have throughput increase? It's hard to say, John. But in my opinion, I do think that the profession system is dog shit. And any change is better. Any single change is going to be better than what Blizzard has right fucking now. So no matter what they do to the profession system, it'll be better. And travels logs, thank you, John. Yes, I do think there's going to be a free battle pass type travels log type content cycle added to Classic Plus. I don't know if it's going to be amazing, but I do know that they are going to definitely add something like that to the game. Like 1,000,000,000%, something like that's going to be coming to Classic Plus. I believe that. I can't raise my volume. This is literally everything maxed out. I literally have lost my voice. I have chest congestion. This is the max volume I can have, my brother. Like, I literally cannot be louder. There is nothing I can do about it. I'm dealing with a severe chest congestion. This is the best I can do. And yo, Melly, how you doing, brother? Now let's move on to the next point, though. Tons of new questing hubs in various zones and new potential good rewards that are a tough grind to get. Easy guess, very, very simple guess. This is like very on track. Pretty much every single zone is going to have new quests, new quest givers, new little hubs, new flight paths. The whole world is revamped. The whole world is updated. The whole world is new. This is Classic Plus, Project Camelot, whatever you want to call it. This whole experience is drastically bigger, better, Not necessarily faster, but smarter. It is a much more modern version of vanilla while staying very true to vanilla spirit. Some zones have been greatly changed, Daenerys and Hinterlands being the best examples. Yes, that one is true. Daenerys and Hinterlands being completely revamped is very true. I'm just going to leave it at that and move on. Caravans of Time plays a massive role in the game, 100% true. Caravans of Time raids and dungeons send you to brand new zones. Old Elwyn Forest, old Hinterlands, old Eastern Plaguelands where Lordaeron is still around, the Stromgarde Empire, the Arathi Empire. Seeing all these old ancient empires come in full force, in full like power, seeing the ancient world, the ancient content. Caravans of Time is going to be a very big part of the game. I don't know which storylines they're going to enter first or do, but Caravans of Time is going to be how they talk about the story and world and lore so much. Dalaran is out of its bubble and is a neutral hub for Alliance plus Horde. Kirin Tor rep and dailies. Not a city you'll sit in AFK in like Stormwind Ironforge org. I do believe this. There's going to be multiple new cities. I don't know if Dalaran is one of the launch experiences. I don't know if they'll even do that. They might leave Dalaran a mystery till much later in the life cycle. But I do believe that Caverns of Time will play a big role and that Dalaran and other cities will be updated. I do believe, for example, Airy Peak, Jintha and places like that will have bigger impact for the Horde, the Alliance. I do believe, because in the story, the Horde liberates Jintha and Jintha is a Horde city. This happens in lore. When you go do all the Jintha stories and quest lines, Jintha belongs to the Reventusk. It is a Horde city. So we might actually see a fully revamped Jintha and Airy Peak. But again, we'll have to wait and see how that ends up turning out, because this is the future of Classic. It's not Vanilla's world. It's Vanilla's world updated drastically. Achievements are in. A few of them give crossover rewards in retail. Yeah, I've said from the beginning we're going to get achievements. This is not something that I'm even going to like debate with people. If you don't think there's going to be achievements, you're deluded. Achievements are coming. 100 billion% achievements are coming. All content will be encrypted. No PTF on your upcoming content. They want you to find everything on your own and not via data mining. No weak or other add-ons that will help you self-fight, just like retail UI customization from midnight. This one I believe as well. The devs themselves have said that data mining really breaks the game and really shits on the game, so that they're going to do what they did back in the day with old PTRs and old alphas from back in vanilla TBC and Wrath. NDA'd PTRs by top tier guilds who will be playing and being flown out to test the raids and doing the content, but they will not be allowed to stream or talk about or play any of the content or make videos on it. So I myself will never sign those NDAs to go there and early test the PTR for upcoming phases. But they will be doing testing and QA testing. It just will not be public testing. It will not be public PTRs. I believe in that. I 100% believe in that. And I believe in the UI and add-on changes. It's based off the retail client. It's a work-back version of retail. 100%. A lot of retail UI and customization. So I believe in that. Zero hesitation. There's nothing to say. The main tagline for the game is, "What if the Dark Portal never opened?" Which will be how the game is presented at BlizzCon. The cinematic is short, but shows Chromie looking on as a bunch of players kill Lord Kazakh in the Blasted Lands, preventing him from opening the Dark Portal to make TPC happen. She makes some really remarks about it, then it goes into montage before the title screen. 3 days early access via Epic Edition, release date October 13, 2026. So, up till about this, the 3-day early access or the 5-day early access is real. There is the Epic and Heroic Edition, $70, $90 version of Classic Plus, Project Camelot, whatever you want to call it. You will be able to buy early access. Not a maybe, not a what if, you will buy early access. It's in retail, it's in Classic. You're gonna buy early access to fucking Classic Plus. It's its own client. It's not a game based on Era or TBC or Wrath or MOP. You're buying early access. 3 days, 5 days. Fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. We're all gonna buy it. You guys can all say you're not buying it. You can all delude yourselves saying you're gonna wait the 3 to 5 days. Nobody's waiting 3 to 5 days. Everybody is buying the $70 version to skip 3 fucking days. Play 3 days fucking early. The release date, I don't know if it's necessarily true or not. Any date after BlizzCon up until the end of Q1 2027 is a realistic release date. Any release date, legitimately, any Friday, any Monday, any whatever the fuck, makes sense and checks out. September 29th, October 13th, October 10th for the early access. All of this is genuine, all of this is real, and all of this makes sense. Any date could be real. So, right off the rip, I said a lot of this was false. And a lot of it is. But the spirit behind what a lot of things stated here is true. A lot of this will be in Classic Plus. A lot of this will be there. A lot of the things that this man has typed here is Classic Plus Project Camelot. This is either a real leaker who has changed and shifted numbers and statements around to make this look fake enough so it can't be traced back to him, or it's somebody who made the best fucking guess known to mankind with some amazing predictions. But either way, a lot of shit here is correct. A lot of it's bullshit, but it's correct bullshit. If you know, you know. But anyways, thanks for watching this bullshit video. If you want to see more like this, come follow me over on Twitch. This is recorded live over on Twitch. Thank you guys. Peace out. Subscribe. I don't give a fuck.